Hello, and welcome to Stanford Black's Women in Tech video series, the aim of which is to progress and support women in the technology and finance industries. Stanford Black's one of London's leading technology and trading recruitment firms. It works with both organisations and candidates to ensure placements are the right fit and therefore long term. Today's conversation is focusing on being the boss, leadership, promotion and progression. Well, I'm delighted that joining me today are Maha Ali, Manager of Digital Capabilities at a leading global bank. Hello, Maha.
Hello.
Irina Saganok, Director of Engineering at Vogue. Hello, Irina.
Hi.
And Pooja Arya Malhotra, an Executive Director at a global leading US investment bank. Hello, Pooja.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. Well, a very warm welcome to you all. And let's get started. Let me just ask you about your personal experiences. Since starting your careers and being in a position of a leader now, are there more women that you're seeing in roles of leadership in your finance and tech industries? Who wants to go first?
My opinion is that it's because we bring different things to the table. You know, we think slightly different, and what we seek truly is a diversity of thought. It's not people dressed in different clothes or people, somebody having longer hair or shorter hair. It is the diversity of thought and the diversity of attitude. Women tend to be, and this is, I'm generalizing a little bit here, but we tend to be more, take more of a caring attitude. And, there is probably like a softer approach to solving problems, whereas men tend to be a little bit more decisive. And that is not true for every single person, but generally these are sort of the skill sets that we're bringing to the table. And together with that diversity of thought and diversity of attitudes towards problem solving, we actually end up in a better culture, with a better workplace and better decision making.
I couldn't agree more. I think women bring a completely fresh perspective, and diversity of thought is the thing that I would point out most. It is a completely different opinion, a completely different attitude. And I think the only other thing that I would add there is, if you have more role models at an at earlier parts of your career, I think you feel a little bit more encouraged that there is a path forward, that there's something to aspire to. Yes, if I work hard, I get to do all these. I get to make it to this level. And I think the one thing I would add is, it's no secret that navigating a workplace is completely different for men and women. And if you do have the pleasure of working with women, which I have had, I think you get it is a completely different learning experience. You get an insight that you might not have been afforded otherwise.
100%. And I think I would also add, lastly to that having a female role model in a leadership also allows aspiring female leaders to look at her and say, hey, I can be who I am. I can be a woman. I can be feminine. I don't have to join a golf club. I can if I like it, but not to get a career progression. I can be who I am. I can develop myself, grow myself, and and achieve an outcome based on my ability.
Absolutely. I think the one other thing that I would add here is also, I think if you have women at senior levels, people who have a family, that actually really helps. It's like, okay, she's worked hard, she's has a family, she's got a career. That's good. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's an amazing thing to see.
And what do you think are the barriers that still need to be removed to get more women into the leadership positions within finance and tech?
I would say the law, first of all. So I would give first an example here in Germany. If you are applying for a job and there are two, a man and a woman are applying for the same job, but they have the same skill set, the law obliges the employer to choose the woman. So here is a type of, I don't want to say enforcement, but it's like support. There is a support to put women into more hiring vacancies and more leading positions. That would be one thing. The other thing is to prepare the leadership inside every person from a very early stage. That's a major thing, because instead of raising people in a way, or raising females in a way that you have to obey men, or you have to be or you have even to see the image, the mental image that usually a man or a leader or a president or a minister, he is always a man. No, we need to change this in the minds of children in a very early stage. So I would say education and a law, they are both able to change this to the better.
And would you say that that's the same now, where we have had we've got a vice president in America who's female, we've had a female prime minister in the UK, the Chancellor of Germany is a woman. Do you think it's still an issue now?
It's an issue in the percentage. So if I mention the percentage of leading women in corporate, it's until the end of 2020, it's just 16% worldwide. And the leaders or the executive level in the NGOs, where we might think that they are being led by women, it's only 20%. I still see that 16% and 20% is a minority. And yes, we have to change the culture, change the way that we are educating children to build this strength inside their psyche, to grow up believing that, yes, we can be leaders.
Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to chime in and kind of respectfully disagree with the law piece. I think that, we don't need any extra conditions other than equal opportunities, which we have now, right? And we've had it for a good few years. So I would actually argue, maybe I'm an optimist, that now is the best time in history ever to pursue your ambition as a woman, and to go on and to grow within an organization. I don't think that we need a special law as women, because we're not a special kind. We're just people, We're just people, and if we're capable, and I believe in merits, I believe in being judged on merit, and I also believe in looking at. I believe in the needs of organization at any given moment in time. You will have sometimes a situation, an organization or a particular team need to balance the team dynamics with opposite gender. It could be any gender, it could be male, female, anything in between there, right? Sometimes there will be a number of different conditions why you would not be able to hire that particular person. So I think imposing law there is just but I think it's also like counterintuitive to what we're trying to achieve here.
No, that's really interesting. And I think the STEM subjects where we're trying to get, and very much Stanford Black's focus on more women in tech and having an available talent pool, that between the young in primary education and then those that are choosing their careers and their degrees, is there still an issue of more work to be done, whether it's legal or whether it's educational? Is it still important to get the women into the females into the STEM subjects, so that there's that, again, visibility?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, sorry, Pooja, go ahead.
Actually, I was just going back to before we, because this is definitely something we want to speak about. But I think just to go back to what Irina had said earlier, I think one important thing that I would like to say here, and I agree with Irina completely here, is women don't want to be treated differently. We would just want to be treated equally. And having laws in place to differentiate might not be the way forward, because it's
almost like a protected characteristic, isn't it? It sounds a little bit like that.
Yeah, definitely. But again, maybe the situation is different in different countries. I wouldn't know. I can only speak for what I see here. And just to go back to address that question around barriers, I would say that I think, yes, of course, there are barriers, but I think if we look back and see where we were 15 years ago, the barriers now are actually a lot less in comparison. And I think part of the reason for that is society as a whole is now much more aware of the issues that we're facing around gender imbalance. And there's an active push to bridge that gap. And what we're seeing now is various firms and the industry as a whole is actively investing in their female talent. You see all sorts of mentorship programs, training opportunities, support, guidance, even a program such as this. It's actively encouraging people to speak up. And that is going to go a huge way, I think.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. On the educational piece, and something else that Maha touched on with regards to self-esteem, because we've had for centuries, for millions of years, we've grown on to be carers and to potentially take secondary roles in family units, or however you might describe that. So I think it will take some time to overcome that, and as far as encouraging to develop a growth mindset, that work will not be wasted on any children, and perhaps little girls need more attention in that area, but that is as far as I would go. So encouraging growth mindset, and encouraging them to pursue their passions, to be brave, to study what they want to study, and not to be put off by any sort of stereotypes that may or may not linger in their society or in their culture.
Yeah, I can't agree more to what Irina and Pooja have said. And I would like to add something here regarding, because I usually look at the topic from a psychological perspective. I would like to add something here regarding the preparation of leaders from the very early stage, and disseminating the view that even if you are a leader, you don't have to be, or you don't have to think that a competent woman is intimidating. This is actually still in the minds of the other gender, like it's in the opposite gender. You can hear them still talk about, when a woman is very strong, even here in Germany, I would say even in Kuwait, even in Egypt, the countries that I worked in, they're all having this perception that if a woman is a leader, she is a little bit intimidating, and then we have to take care and be a little bit like, oh, she is too much. So I think we have to change this perception. I believe that the situation now is much, much better than a decade ago, but the problem does really still exist, and we have to work on it in a very early stage through emotional education and through preparing leaders from a very early stage. And this does not go for women only, but also go for all genders, to know that we all have equal rights, and none of us becoming a leader means that we are intimidating or less likable or less lovable.
What would your advice be to someone who's perhaps thinking, well, hang on a minute, here I am having done this, and then someone else may have been promoted above me, or just simply the opportunity for promotion doesn't appear?
I would go for the first thing: gain the identity, gain the attitude of being a leader, act as a leader, be very confident, never doubt your abilities, keep a little bit patient until you get what you want, and stand for yourself. Sit on the table, not on the side of the table, no, on the table, be there. And for females who are having families, I would go for your partner should really be your partner. Like 50% of the home chores has to be distributed equally between the two genders. So you have the space to grow in your career, and you're not completely exhausted in home and family responsibilities.
Anybody else, some advice?
I guess I would just add a more like tactical approach, I guess. So figure out what you want to do, where you want to be. The exercise I like to do with my team members and with my direct reports and mentees and myself, actually, where do you want to be this time in 5 years' time? And work backwards from that. You might identify where you want to be if there were no barriers. What really interests you? What are you really passionate about? What areas do you want to grow in? Put that as a milestone, work backwards to a year from now, and then backwards still, and identify steps that you need to take to get to that progression. And then make your ambition known to your manager, work with your manager to set tangible goals in place, which you can work towards and keep on checking on your progress. And whether within a given organization or some other organization, you will achieve what you want. So while that doesn't ensure you're against somebody else being promoted instead of you, it does give you the skill set and the direction that takes you to where you want to be, regardless of the name of the business you're working for.
Yeah. I think the only thing I would add there is tap into your networks, speak to people, speak to your friends, your colleagues, your mentors, your previous bosses, people whose opinion you trust and value. sometimes getting a fresh perspective is exactly what you need. And what I found is people are generally quite happy to share their insights with you. And I mean, if you've exhausted all avenues and, things haven't progressed, then perhaps it is time to take a change. Perhaps something new is what you need. One thing I would say, however, is I think long and hard for what is right for you in your situation. I think one thing that I have seen a bit is people often project or compare themselves to others. And in the process, they become a little bit uncertain about the position they're in. I know I've done this in the past. The only person who can really judge what is right for you in your situation is you. So plan based on that, not based on what you think or where you think you should be, based on what you see somebody else doing. Really.
Yeah, and my personal discovery is that have a plan, but don't be so rigid. Be prepared to change. Have a plan. It's like that boxer said, the famous boxer. Everybody has a plan until they're punched in the face, right? So have a plan, but if your circumstances change, don't be afraid to change it. And most of all, and I say this, I don't think I'll ever stop saying it. Really check in with yourself to make sure you still love what you do, because that's what really makes people great.
Okay, that's exactly what I want to talk about, which is if you really love what you're doing and you are able to keep on going on there, then be sure that you're gonna reach what you want. And if you don't find yourself in the organization, or someone else took your place or took your dream or took your position or the thing that you are dreaming of, and you're not able to be patient enough to get it or to get something similar, then please find another passion and go. Don't be afraid to be an entrepreneur. Just jump out of the organization, create your own business, create your own leadership, be your own leader. And this will give you a whole new experience of discovering yourself. I would also agree so much with the point that Irina said here regarding the reverse engineering about your goals. So your goals shouldn't always be relevant to your corporate, but if you want to be a leader, you can be a leader everywhere and anywhere. So put the goal in a very general perspective and work like a reverse engineering plan and then a forward engineering execution.
Do you think organizations particularly reflect that? So you're seeing more women at your level?
Yes. Yeah, but I think, that something I would note is that different industries may have different ratios of women to men and vice versa. So because I do work in fashion and publishing, that is naturally more attractive to many women. And as a result, I guess I do see, and not only it is attractive as an industry, Condé Nast makes a lot of effort in creating diversity and fostering diversity within the organization, and that really pays off. That effort really pays off. I mean, it's really, it has to be, in order to create a diverse team and to maintain a diverse team, not only you have to put effort in hiring it, you also have to put continuous effort in retaining it, in retaining that balance and ensuring that you create conditions where people just want to work and do their best and don't even think about genders. And I think for that reason, I definitely do see more women in leadership.
I couldn't agree with that more. Like, as Irina said, there are two sides of this coin. One is attracting talent and the other is retaining. I think we're doing more and more as an industry to get to cultivate an interest in technology at a younger age, which is absolutely great because we have more enthusiastic, talented pool of women coming in, not just women, but people coming in at early stages. But I think the second side is actually retaining talent. And I think here, what we are seeing is what a team or a firm's success is largely attributed to its people. And what we really want to do is make sure that the people are valued and appreciated. And how we can do that, I think, is provide the support and the training and the guidance to ensure that they have the tools to really push their careers forward. One area I think we could really build upon is people in general. They take career breaks. There's no doubt about it. Women possibly more so than men. And when they're ready to re-enter the workforce, what you see is a completely different work environment. And here, I think everyone, employers and the returners alike, can benefit massively, again, by providing that support, the training, and the guidance to really build confidence and actively get them to take charge and resume their careers where they've left off.
And do you think that works the other way, where, you know, Stanford Black are working with organisations particularly to get that talent pool? Do you think that the organisations now feel that they have to have those policies in place to be more attractive to potential employees?
Yes, I think that they do. And what I'm also seeing, especially in the finance sector, is that there are a lot of programs that are supported, that are specifically targeted towards supporting hire and for people who have taken career breaks for possibly, 18 months or 24 months and above. And that's absolutely wonderful, because these people because women are actually encouraged to come in, and they're going through a program to ensure that they have those tools to just take charge and move forward.
I would like to add to this point, or actually connect the two last questions together. When I joined my MBA class in 2008, there are only maybe 6 out of 25 students in this leading or managing preparation course. If you're talking about courses and preparation programs and trainings. Nowadays, if you look at the percentage of women who are taking MBA degrees, it's more increasing, and in every university, according to statistics, which is a very good indicator that we are qualifying more women. If we are talking about academia a little bit, or because MBA is also not just academic, but it's also preparing you to become a manager or a leader. Yes, the number is increasing, and the market is full of very qualified females, and we're just encouraging them to move forward and to attain high and to increase the level of deservance that they believe in. Then they will get what they want. And
I think that's really, it's that personal experience, and where you're all saying to me, well, actually, that's something that we've seen these improvements, and then to have it reflected in the figures as well, having that interest, having that awareness. Would you say that the nub of the problem, or resolving the issue, is the visibility? There have to be women in leadership roles in finance and tech to enable others to say, well, actually, I could do that course, or I could have that promotion as well. Does it bring us back to the beginning of visibility and having women in leadership roles?
Yeah, having a role model is a very powerful tool, if that can be considered a tool, but it's a very powerful thing. So I would say yes, 100%. And increasing levels of visibility of women doing great things in general, regardless of their title, like regardless of the levels of seniority. I have some very junior members in my team who are spearheading certain initiatives, which I think are fantastic, and creating visibility of that and encouraging them and supporting them on their journey, I think will pay big dividends in the future.
And I think the thing that I would like to add here is, I think leadership, having role models, wonderful. Absolutely. It is absolutely wonderful to have female role models. But I think the other thing that has really helped is just looking around. Women, there are more and more women, present company included, on the same level, which gives you, it puts a sort of support structure in place.
Yeah.
Encourages you to move forward. It's like, I'm not alone. I have people around me who are doing exactly the same thing, pushing forward. We can all do this.
Yeah. And when we talk about merit, when we talk about eligibility, we are equal, men, women. We have equal capabilities. But when it comes to certain conversations or specific attitudes or perceptions, we're still different. There is a reason why we distinguish genders in the workplace. There's a reason why we want a balance, because if we were completely the same, then we wouldn't have an issue, would we? And having, to Pooja's point, having somebody to talk to, having somebody to relate to, or to I don't know, go shopping at lunch break with, that really creates that feeling of belonging and being in the right place.
For everyone who is watching us, and if you don't have a role model around you, be your own model. Have this autonomy to create the personality and the woman that you want to aspire, that you want to become. have it, own it, gain it, be your own role model, and shoot from there to attain what you believe in. This is the first thing. The second thing, have a coach. If you really want to become someone great, have a coach. It's very important. A personal coach, a business coach, someone who is able to guide you in a way or another, in case you don't have a role model around you.
And I think that's quite interesting as well, isn't it? Because it doesn't necessarily need to be a female in that position. It's just having someone that will have your back, perhaps.
Yes, indeed.
If you can't afford a coach, I have a tip. Get somebody you can coach. And there is, no matter how junior you are, there is always somebody more junior than you. And the amount of learning that you get from that experience yourself is just incredible.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah, absolutely. We see, I'm seeing this more and more. There's a lot of reverse mentorship, as they call it. And that is definitely wildly beneficial.
Did anybody want to add anything else at all?
Well, first of all, leadership is not everybody's aspiration. So it's cool, you know, somebody wants to be an engineer, someone wants to be an actor or an actress. And if you're not feeling, don't be pressured into becoming a leader, becoming a manager. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. What you like doing matters more. And then if you do decide that you want to grow and you want to achieve something bigger and better for yourself that makes you feel good, on certain days you will feel focused and you will feel driven and you will feel productive. Some days will just be trash, and that's fine, you know. That's don't be discouraged. That's normal. We all go through these motions, and take a break sometimes, and then come back to it. Come back to pick up where you left off. There is no constant drive for leadership, and nobody gets it perfect.
2 weeks ago, we had a session with a university in Lebanon talking about emotional education, and the attendees actually were very, very interested in the topic, and they said, we need this at schools, we need this at universities. It's very important that we educate people to address their emotions, to understand the cultural impact on their emotions, if they believe in themselves, if they can grow a healthy confidence or not, if they are able to face any obstacle, hardship, or adversity, how they manage it, how they navigate through. That's very important, that we prepare people on this psychological side when they are very young. Then we are preparing leaders.
The past 12, well, I want to say 15 months have been difficult for everyone. But let's not lose sight of how much we have learned as well. I think as managers and as leaders, we've had to develop a number of new skills quite quickly: how to manage remotely, how to mentor remotely, how to keep team spirits high. I think overall, we've come out being more empathetic managers who have kept the team together. Let's not lose sight of the stuff that we've managed, that we've actually done well, and continue to do this going forward.
Finally, a big thank you to you all, to Pooja, Irina and Maha. And don't forget, if you're looking to find out more about Stanford Black's Women in Tech video series, then head to stanfordblack.com and you can click on #SB Women in Tech. And you can also join the conversation and follow the Stanford Black LinkedIn page. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.